What's your answer? What's your answer, Eric?
647.
647?
Yeah.
647 what?
Centimeters cubed.
All right, centimeters cubed. All right. Eric, can you talk to us about anybody else have a different answer? Siriaida? What did you get, Siriaida?
The same.
Okay, so Siriaida got the same. What did you get, Iris?
The same.
Okay. What did you get, Araceli?
The same.
Okay. So when in Araceli, Iris, Siri, did you guys answer on the chat that you guys did it?
Yes.
Awesome. Iris, did you answer that you did it? Okay. So Eric, Mr. Eric, go ahead. Help us. Eric, unmute yourself and help us, por favor.
So for I cut them in two, so I counted the big one first.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, and I know you guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this figure so that I can extend this work, because I want to make sure that it's really clear and with a space provided, because I'm trying to teach. It makes it very difficult. So here's what I'm going to do. All right. So there it is, and then I'm going to do the math, use all this space, right? Okay, sir.
So I multiplied the big one.
So you what?
I multiplied the big one, the length times width.
So he called it the big one.
Yeah.
Okay. So he called it the big one, and we multiplied the length. Okay. And which one do you call length? This one or this one? Or this one?
So I counted it from the top because it's easier.
Okay. So you counted from the top. Okay. So what did you count?
So I counted the width, which is 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so you called here, you called this width?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And ¿qué más, Eric?
And the length is 9.
9? 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then you called length here.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Boys and girls, just a comment. If that's what you did, that's fine. As long as you keep it consistent, all right? So you said the width was how much?
7.
7 what?
Centimeters squared. I mean cubic.
Hold it. When you're just measuring the width, it's just 9 centimeters, okay? When you're measuring the length, would be, here's what you said the width was how much?
7.
1, 2, 7. My bad. I don't want to misrepresent what you're saying. All right. And then the length was what?
9.
9, right?
Yeah.
9 centimeters. All right. And then how about, what's the next measurement?
I multiplied it. 9 times 7.
Oh, okay. So then the big one, he multiplied the length times the width. So he multiplied the length times the width. Okay, that was going to give you the 63. So 7 times 9 equals 63. Good job, Eric. What else?
And then and then I got out the height.
The height.
Yeah.
And did you put the height here?
Yeah.
And what is the height?
9.
So then the height. Make sure that you guys are labeling. So 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 what?
9 centimeters.
Centimeters. Good job. All right. So then this one gives you the squared, right? The squared, kind of the two-dimensional figure, right? Two-dimensional figure first, and then so it's 763 squared units or squared centimeters.
Centimeters.
Sorry. All right. And then what do you do with the 63?
You multiply it by 9.
You multiply it times 9, all right, or by 9, all right. So those of you that this is kind of challenging, you can do the standard algorithm, which is 9 times 63. And so you go 9 times 3 is what?
567.
Carry the 2. 6 times 9 is 54, 55, 56. So 567?
Yeah.
Wait, but didn't you say the answer was 647?
Yeah, but then you still gotta get out the little one.
Ah, voila. So then this represents, we're going to label this, okay? So check it out. We are labeling that for, and we could call it the big one, right? The big one right here. Or we could call it figure number 1, or figure A. Okay, is that too much? So you're good. We're gonna leave the big one. That's good, because I want you to make sure it's like, all right, when you're explaining, well, I explain for the big one or for the big figure, right? And then now let's calculate for the small one, right? Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
All right, sure. All right, let's go with the small one. So what are the measurements for the small one? Now, Eric, did you color it, or did you label it, or you just straight count it like that?
I labeled it.
You labeled it. Okay. So that's the big one, right? Or figure A. And what this one is the small one. Of course, you called it the small one, but it's figure what? B. All right. So tell me the dimensions of the small figure.
So the width is 5.
So the width is 5. Oh, you're going to call this width, right? All right. There you go. We go again. Here we go. The width from right here is 5. 5 what?
Centimeters.
All right. So we're going to call that 5 centimeters. And and how about this? What are you going to call that?
Length.
Okay, this we're going to call length. And how much does that measure?
8.
That one's 8. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 centimeters. And what do you have left? Width,
Oh, you
length.
multiply it by 5.
Oh, okay, the small one. Then you multiplied 5 times 8. And so 5 is width times 8, which is the length. What is that equal?
40.
40. Then what else do you do?
Now you add it to the 567.
Wait, Eric. So you're saying that figure B...
No. You still have to multiply it by 2.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just checking, man. I'm just following you. You're like teaching the class. All right, so Eric, so then what's the height?
2.
Okay. Height, 2 what?
2 centimeters.
2 centimeters. All right, Eric, that's a good job. And so now what are you going to multiply?
You will add it up to the 567.
But wait. So you multiply 5 times 8, but then what are you going to do with that 40?
You multiply it by 2.
Oh, 40 times 2. So then here, this 40 is called the base, guys. The area for the base, then times 2, because you got 2 platforms, and then times 2, which is, right, 40 times 2 is what?
80.
80 what?
80 centimeters.
What kind of centimeters?
Cubic?
Yes. Sounded like a question, though. So say 80 centimeters. 80 cubic centimeters, Mr. Castro. You want to make sure that you're...
80 cubic centimeters.
All right. Are you sure, Eric? Then what do you do?
Then you add it up to 567.
Okay, so you added volume of figure A, which was 567 centimeters cubic, plus you add volume of figure B equals 80 centimeters cubic, and then you go like this, right? Total volume is 567 plus 80. Is that right? And then when you can do the standard algorithm and just put it here, 567 plus 80, and what did it give you totally? What was the total?
647.
Okay, 7, and then you got 4, 647 what?
Centimeters.
Cubic centimeters. All right. So then if you are following along and doing this work, give yourself a star on your sheet of paper. Did everybody take notes? If you took all the notes, says, yes, I took the notes, Mr. Castro. I took the notes. I am taking notes. I am participating. Type that on the chat so I can give you some points. Okay, I give you points for participation. If you're typing on the chat, that is a form of participation, so I will recognize that, and I am going to call you awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. All right. Good job, Sophia. Good job, Mr. Hacker. Good job. All right, Araceli, good job. All right, I took notes, Ida. Excellent. So you guys are taking notes? All right, so here we go. So now wait, you see that 647? I have to put it up here, right? I have to put it up here. So put it right here where the answers are. 647. Okay, I'm going to scoot the paper over here. Problem number 3. How did you solve it, Ida?
I broke the figure into two pieces.
Okay, but what was your answer?
My answer was 160 centimeters.
167?
160.
Oh, 160?
Mhm.
Okay, 160 cubic centimeters.
Mhm.
All right. Did anybody get a different answer? Who got the same answer? Can you state your name?
Iris.
Iris. Who else?
Araceli.
Araceli. Who else?
Jonathan.
Okay. Jonathan. So, Siri, so tell us, how did you solve it? Which one? Did you start with the left or with the right figure?
With the right.
Right. So that one is the big one, right? So that's the
Yes.
big figure. Did you call it something? Did you call it figure A, B? How are you setting them apart?
I called it figure B.
Okay, so this is figure B, okay? And let's go with figure B. And what are the measurements for figure B?
For length, it's 10 centimeters.
Okay, so here is 10. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 10 centimeters. And you called it length, right?
Yeah.
All right. So then length is right there. What's the next measurement?
Width, it was 2 centimeters.
Okay. The width is 2 centimeters. Okay. And we're going to call that width. Okay. And what else?
The height, it was 5 centimeters.
And then we got from here to here is the height. You called it height. And how many centimeters is that?
5 centimeters.
5 centimeters. I'm making some errors. All right. 5 centimeters. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah, it's kind of bad, but so I'm going to scratch it out. I'm going to put 5 centimeters. Is that a little better?
Oh.
All right. And what did you do now?
Then I multiplied all of the sides for figure B.
Okay, so you multiplied, which one? 10 times
10
times
5 times 2.
10 times 5 times 2. All right. So you went 10 times 5, and 10 times 5 is
50.
50. Times 2 is
100
100. So 100 what?
centimeters cubic.
All right. And what? Now this is for figure B. Now, what are the dimensions for now figure? What did you call that figure? Figure
A.
A. All right. So go for it.
For figure A, the length was 4 centimeters.
So the length equals 4 centimeters, and the width?
The width, it was 3 centimeters.
3 centimeters. And the height?
5 centimeters.
Okay, and what did you do with them?
I multiply them.
Okay, what did you multiply?
5 times 4 times 3.
5 times 4 times 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 5 times 4, so you go the length times the height. 4 times 5 is 20. And then that times 3. Is that right?
Yes.
What did you get?
60 centimeters cubic.
60
Mm-hmm.
cubic centimeters. All right, and then what did you do with that?
I added it with 100 centimeters cubic.
So she added 100 plus
60.
60. So when you combine 100 plus 60, you get 160. And what kind of centimeters you said?
Centimeters cubic.
And what are we going to call this answer? What are we going to call this answer?
Volume.
The volume. But for what?
Of the whole figure.
Yep, for the whole two figures. And we, instead of using all that vocabulary, we go, it's called total volume, okay? Total volume. So total volume equals 160 cubic centimeters. All right. And we're going to write that right there, see? Okay, we're going to write that right there, right here on this sheet, right? We're at number 3. 160 cubic centimeters. All right? All right, CD, I'm going to give you some points for helping with that one. Thank you so much. Is there another volunteer that would like to do? And even if you didn't do it, but if you think you've got it, because they've been giving you different examples, you can say, all right, I got it. I think I could do this. Sure, Mr. Castro, I think I can do this on my own. Say, hey, just talk to me right now on the chat. Okay, Araceli, can you help us? Go ahead, Araceli. How did you solve this? Well, first, Araceli, what's your answer?
I got 335 centimeters cubic.
How much?
335 centimeters cubic.
Okay. Did anybody get that answer also? Anybody else got that answer?
I did.
Who said that?
Me, Sophia.
Okay, so Sophia got that. Who else got that answer?
Iris.
Iris? Siriaida? Who else got that answer? Anybody else? That's it? So here we go. All right. So how did you do it, Araceli? What did you label it? How did you label those figures? Go ahead.
First, I colored one side.
So what are the measurements for that figure?
The length is 5 centimeters.
So the length. And you said it's how much?
5 centimeters.
5 centimeters. What's the next measurement, Araceli?
The height is 5 centimeters.
5 centimeters. Okay, so you got here. I'm going to call that the height. All right, and that's 5 centimeters. Okay, what's the next measurement?
For the width, I got 8 centimeters.
And for the width, so from here to here, we call that the width. And that's how many centimeters?
8.
8 centimeters. All right, so we go 8 centimeters. All right. And what did you do? What are you going to call that figure?
Figure A.
So figure A. And what did you do to get the measure to get the volume?
I multiplied 5 times
8
times 8
times 5.
times 5. All right. And what is 5 times 8?
40.
40. And then what do you do with that 40?
I multiplied it with 5.
Times 5. Great.
Yes.
So 40 times 5 is what?
200 centimeters cubic.
Okay, 200 cubic centimeters. All right, good job. All right. Now, so that's figure A. So here is the volume for figure A, and we're writing that down. We're just kind of putting it in a little box. That way we can say, all right, so this is the work for figure A. What do you do next, Araceli?
I label figure.
Okay, and what did you label it?
The length is 9 centimeters.
So the length, okay, so from here to here, we're going to call that length. And that length is how many centimeters?
9.
9 centimeters, all right. And then the next measurement is this one right here. And how much does that measure? And what do you call it?
It's the width, and it's 3 centimeters.
The width, and it's 3 centimeters. All right. What's the next measurement, Araceli?
The height, and it's 5 centimeters.
Okay, so the height and it's 5 centimeters. Okay? And then what are you going to call that figure?
Figure B.
Okay, so figure B, and figure B, then how do you solve the volume for figure B? What are you going to do?
I multiply 9 times 3 times 5.
Times 5. Now, on this one, I'm going to put like little letters on the top. So then this one, what are you going to call the 9? What does that represent? Is that the length?
The length.
Length.
The length.
Okay. Times the 3. What does the 3 represent?
Width.
Width. And then times, what does the 5 represent?
Height.
Okay, perfect. And I'm going to keep the volume right here. Okay? Because this, what do we call this, Araceli?
I can't see.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. What do you call that right there? When you have this, it's called a what? Formula. It's a formula. So formula for volume, okay? So that's the formula, right? So, all right. Boom. So then what did you get? 9 times 3. What is 9 times 3?
27.
9 times 3 is 27. Then what do you do with 27?
You multiply it with 5.
Okay, and what do you get when you multiply 27 times 5?
135.
Okay, 135. So 5 times 7 is 35. You carry the 3. That's how we get it. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. That's how we get 135. All right, 135. And 135 what, Araceli?
Centimeters cubic.
Centimeters cubic. And then what do? So we're going to use the same process that we did here. And this one, we extended it. And so then what do?
You add the volume we got from figure A from figure B.
Okay. So then, so you add The volume for figure A was 200, right?
Yep.
And then the volume for figure B was?
135.
Okay. And I forgot to mention centimeters cubic, because you did that. So then when we add these, we're going to get what is called the total volume, right? The total volume. So when you get 200 plus 135 equals what?
335 centimeters.
335 centimeters cubic. And we did the problem here. That's it. All right, Araceli, great job. So give yourself, if you didn't have all these labels, please write those labels. That's going to get you into 3+ category. So I sincerely hope that you guys are doing great. I'm going to do something that I haven't done in the past. And let me see what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can. So I'm going to start the broadcast. Do you guys see me?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope that your day goes awesome, and I sincerely appreciate you guys being on the call and doing your extremely awesomeness. All right. So have a beautiful day. We'll see you next week. Go online and you can research. You can use YouTube. You can also, for math, you can also research on your own. Khan Academy, that's a resource that you guys can use. But I hope that you guys have a beautiful day, and we are out. So feel free to disconnect. Have an awesome day, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you next week. Okay?